Hello and welcome to day 4 of this week's Trek Through the Greek of 1 John. And we're in verse 20 today. Can you translate this? Well, here's a translation. Because if should condemn the heart of us, if our heart should condemn, and I think it's our heart. I'm not sure if katagnosko takes some verbs take their object in the genitive. Let me just do a quick thought about that. Well, I wasn't able to find a quick answer, but I am thinking it's possible because kata can take the genitive, especially when it means against. And so if should condemn us, the heart. If our, well, we get the sense either way. If our heart should condemn us, that God is greater than our heart and he knows all things. This is an interesting, now I'm not 100% convinced that I've ever interpreted this verse correctly. The interpretation I like of this verse is the idea that sometimes we don't feel forgiven by God. This seems awfully modern, introspective conscience, and so I'm still suspicious of this interpretation. I think it's okay theologically. I like it theologically. But I've often taken this verse to say that sometimes we feel condemned when God accepts us. And so if our heart condemns us, God knows the truth. God knows all things. God knows our hearts. And so, because this is a positive verse, it's a positive verse about God, and it's a positive verse about us, I think. And so my general tendency is to take this verse to mean that there are some people who have as David Siemens once said, they have damaged love receptors. Their antenna is not receiving the transmission. You're forgiven, you're forgiven, you're forgiven. But because the antenna is not working, we feel condemned. And so there are times when, now, of course, a lot of times when our heart condemns us, we're actually condemned. But if our heart condemns us and we're actually okay, God's greater than what we're feeling. God is greater than our feelings. It's a good truth, whether it's what John had in mind or not. Okay, so now to break down the translation. Because if should condemn us the heart, or if our heart should condemn us, or if should condemn us the heart, it means the same thing either way, that greater is God than the heart of us. Now, when you get into intermediate Greek, third semester Greek, you begin to understand what's called the genitive of comparison. And that means that a than can come out of the genitive ending, out of the genitive case. And that's the case here. And you can usually feel it. With the word greater, you're going to have the word than in English, just the way English works with these things. God is greater than our heart, and he knows all things. Okay, grammar. So we have kind of two clauses scrunched in here. Maybe I should go back to the previous verse. In this, we will know that we are from the truth, and that before God, we will persuade our hearts. We will persuade our hearts before God if we love our brother and share our possessions. And even if our heart should condemn us, and this should be condemn us, time for bed, I think, for me. Okay, so back to the grammar. So we have a noun clause, because, causal clause, because, and then nestled in it, we have a conditional clause, if should condemn us our heart. Parsing of this. So this is katagnosko. So all the letters of the present stem are there, so it's present tense. The on told me that subjunctive is coming. So I knew this was going to be subjunctive. It's a third person singular that's been fried or lengthened because it's subjunctive. So it's a present active subjunctive, third singular from katagnosko, to condemn, to know against. That doesn't really work, but in this case, it illustrates. That, I'm going to go ahead and say that this hoti is more of a causal, although it could simply be repeating this, because we interrupt this causal clause with a conditional clause. So now back to the causal clause. That's possible. Because if our heart condemns us, condition, God is greater than our heart, genitive of comparison here, and God knows all things. Okay, by a statement of God's omniscience. Don't have good, crisp statements of God's omniscience very often. There's a nice one. Okay, and now for the pronunciation. Hoti ean katagnoske, hemon he cardia, Hoti maidzon estin, ho theos tes cardias hemon, kai gnoske ponton. Okay, can I do it even faster? Hoti an katagnoske hemon he cardia. Hoti maidzon estin ho theos tes cardias hemon, kai gnoske ponta. Okay, this has been yet another day in 1 John.